Deshaun Watson is back. He is back. Now, again, I like it when you guys help me out if there are things that I don't know or that I misspeak about. To my knowledge, there hasn't been a quarterback starter announced just yet for the Cleveland Browns. But what we do know for right now is Deshaun Watson has served his 11-game suspension, right? He served his 11-game suspension. He's back on the practice field. Look at Lady K. What's good? Happy Friday, Junior, indeed. Good to see you. Good to see you. So the question remains, who's starting on Sunday, right? Now, let me look at the standings here and see where the Browns presently stand. The Browns are 3-6. They're currently third in the AFC North. Baltimore's on top, 6-3. Bengals are second, 5-4. Cleveland is 3-6, and my Steelers are last in the division. Something that I never thought I would see, but it's there. It's there. It's Brissett until he's eligible versus Houston. Okay, all right. So the Browns play the Bills. Now we don't even know if that game is going to be a thing, right? Because the Bills are supposed to be getting some astronomical snowstorm. And as it stands right now, I guess the game is still on. But I don't know. There's a chance that it might get rescheduled or something like that. We're on a 1-game winning streak. We really are, and hopefully we can keep it up. I mean, they flexed us out of prime time. So now our game is like at 4:25 on Sunday, something like that. But back to Deshaun. I did not know that he was eligible to play until the Browns play Houston. When do they play Houston? Let's find out when they play Houston. Let's find out. Is it week 12, guys? I've got my... No, the Browns play the Bucks on the 27th. So week 13, maybe? Yes, week 13, the Browns play the Houston Texans in Houston. So that apparently Sunday, December 4th is when Deshaun is actually going to be eligible to play. So the question, let's talk hypotheticals here, right? Let's talk hypotheticals. Let's say that Brissett continues to play. He has not been playing bad. Like, if we're going to keep it a buck, Brissett has not been playing bad football by any means at all. And so the question has to be asked. I mean, let's not get it twisted. Deshaun Watson, he got that big boy contract. He's clearly the Browns franchise quarterback. Do you stick with the hot hand with Brissett? And maybe at the end of the season, depending on how the season ends, you try and get some trade value for him, like that, you know, increase his draft, not draft stock, but like his trade stock. Yo, what is happening? Hey, we got C Money coming in with 18 months. Look at the fam. Look at the fam. Look at the fam coming in. Hype in the chat. Whoopies and Nini's in the chat. Enjoy the stream. Enjoy the emotes. Front row seat just for you. May I just say, chat, that OBS just picked the most rad time. The most rad time to act up right before I was supposed to go live. So I'm assuming that my emotes came through. Yes, it looks like they did come through. And she's finally wearing her own merch. Actually, no, this is Charlotte. This is Charlotte. I gotta get on that though. I promise I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna get on that. I promise I'm gonna get on that. Let me see. Weedham Raptors. Oh boy. Let me see. 260 mil guarantee. He's second available. Hold on. Let me highlight this for everybody. And Brissett could have been 12-0, and they're still gonna go with Watson, in your opinion. Yes, I'm a Hornets fan in terms of their colors. I know that I'm keeping it old school, right? Like, I was that kid growing up. I know the logo looks similar a little bit. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know, when I was younger, I was rocking the Charlotte Hornets jerseys. Who did I have? I think I had, what's going on, Shaq? Welcome in. Thank you so much for that raid. I appreciate you, my guy. Hope you had a fantastic stream. I think I had Alonzo Mourning. Who did I have? I think I had the Alonzo Mourning and maybe Muggsy Bogues. But I know they're trash. I know they're not good right now, but I don't care. I like their colors. Their colors kind of resemble what I got going on a little bit with my branding. So that's why we are where we are. Yeah, they are fire. They're super fire. But Shaq, thank you so much again for that raid. I hope you had a great stream. If you're new to my stream, I go by Lauren WKR. You're welcome to call me Lauren. I talk NFL things. I play video games, and I just kick it with cool people. Right? I just kick it with cool people. Larry Johnson. Did you have the Larry Johnson jersey? We going all over the map, man. We going all over the map. But Big Stupid was saying that based on how much they're paying Deshaun, it makes sense for them to start him. I don't know if it does. I mean, no one is going to take away the fact that he is their franchise quarterback. I just feel like it would be different. Oh, thank you so much, Shaq. I appreciate that. That means a lot for you to say that. I just feel like, what do I feel like? It would be different if this was like week 4, right? Like week 5, week 6. Once we get to December, guys, like the season's darn near over. Like a good portion of the season is done, you know, and then after the month of December, we're talking playoffs, right? Like we're talking playoffs. So it's just like, okay, the Browns are 3-6, but you have a guy who we really didn't get to see a guy in Deshaun Watson. We really didn't get to see too much of him in preseason. We saw one series, guys. We saw one series of Deshaun Watson in the preseason, and even at that, it wasn't very good. It wasn't a very good series at all. So I get it, you know, more than likely now that I think about it, more than likely he probably is going to start on Sunday, December 4th, just because it's his old team, and the NFL is in the business of making money, and that's going to bring in views, right? That's going to bring in views. Every storyline that you could possibly think of as it relates to Deshaun Watson and all the mess that he was involved in for the past 2 years, and, you know, Houston being Houston and everything that they were part of as it pertains to Deshaun Watson and his situation. Like, the storylines are just going to be endless, and every sports media outlet is going to be writing column after column after column as far as their, you know, some are going to be facts, some are going to be opinionated, but it's going to be a lot of freaking content leading up to that game between the Browns and the Houston Texans. And much like I said, guys, the NFL is in the business of making money and making lots of it. And I'm surprised that even though their records are what they are, the Browns are 3-6 and the Texans are 1-7 right now, I'm surprised it's not flexed to like a 4 o'clock game. I mean, obviously they're not going to make it a Sunday night game just because they're just not, they're two teams that aren't very good right now. But at least a 4:25 game, you would think. What's going on, Tatted Goon? You need to see Watson on the field this system and get him ready for next year. In my opinion, Watson needs to sit out the season and try to play next season. They don't want a Russell Wilson situation next year. They're gonna get him all the reps. NFL knew what they were doing, having him come back at Houston. I'm not fooled. Oh, for sure, Lady K. Brissett did his job. He's a backup. He's a backup spot starter. He's going to get more job opportunities for his playing, assuming they trade him in the offseason. I would assume that I think hopefully there's no confusion with Brissett as to what's going on here. Hopefully they sat him down and said, listen, we just need your services. We're not asking you to go above and beyond. We're sure as heck not asking you to go out here and try and be like Deshaun, because he's our guy. Deshaun is our guy. We have given this individual a lot of freaking money, right? A lot of freaking money to be our guy. So we don't need you to be extra. We just need you to be manageable. And if there's some plays that are exciting and get the crowd and whatever hyped up in the midst of all that, then go for it. But we're not asking you to be Deshaun. So don't feel like you need to go out here and be Deshaun. Listen, guys. And I know that this isn't going to happen. I am a firm believer. I'm being so real right now. I am a firm believer, because I have to be, in terms of what I'm about to say. I believe in forgiveness. Okay? I don't think that any relationship cannot be repaired. I don't think that people can't be forgiven. We as people, and this is just my opinion, chat, I feel like we as people, we have to forgive. And not for that individual that we might have fallen out with, right? Or we might have had a discrepancy with. We have to forgive them for ourselves. Our relationship with them doesn't necessarily have to be the same. You know, we don't have to, you know, hold hands and sing kumbaya and go back to the way it was. In some instances, some people can go back to the way it was with their relationship with whoever they may have fallen out with. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this for a couple of reasons, but the main reason that I'm saying this, I'm ready to move on from this Deshaun drama. I really am. I'm ready, and I'm open to having dialogue on this. I'm open to the reception of, Lauren, you're wrong. There's a lot of people that were hurt by him. There was a lot of people whose lives were changed because of him. We can talk about that. What's good, Prince? How are you? But I'm ready. I'm ready for it to be about football. If we are going to talk about Deshaun Watson in the capacity of his football gameplay, if we are going to talk about Deshaun Watson as it pertains to upcoming opponents, I want it to be about that. I don't want it to be about this crap. Okay? And maybe I'm referencing it wrong, but we can forgive and not forget. I get that. I totally get that, Lady K. No, yeah, and I don't want the perception to be that I want, you know. How do I want to put this? I guess it's kind of difficult for me to not put this in biblical terms. Like, you know, in Christianity, okay, I'm just gonna go there because I feel like I have to. In Christianity, when we sin, you know, obviously we ask for forgiveness, and the Bible says, the Lord forgets about it. The Lord forgets about it. I think in the capacity of forgetting about it, I think it's more so that we shouldn't dwell on it. We shouldn't look at that person and that's what we see, kind of thing. So I think it's just important to forgive and move on. But as it pertains to Deshaun Watson, I'm not having it in terms of going to watching television and the first thing that they want to talk about are these massage cases. I'm over the massage jokes. I'm over the massage references. I'm over, I mean, and granted, I know that some outlets aren't going to let it go. I know they're not going to stop talking about it, but I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for it to be about football, okay? The guy didn't play an entire year last year, okay, because he stood on his ground that he wasn't going to play for the Houston Texans, and they traded him. He got his money with the Browns. Let the off the field stuff be that, right? Let it be the off the field stuff. I don't want to hear no more about these massages. That is a at this point, it's a personal situation. He has done his time, okay? He's served his 11-game suspension. He's back on the football field, practicing with his teammates, trying to get the rapport down with his offense. I want it to be about that. I really do. Do I think the Browns have a chance of being anything in terms of playoff contention this season? Probably not. And I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say probably not, because anything can happen. December, chat, the end of November going into December is wild. It is really, really wild. You know? It's very, very wild. Exactly. He did his time. I'm over it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Big Stupid. Unfortunately, this will follow him for the rest of his career. Ben, Kobe, etc. I would agree with that. I think it's unfortunate that it took Kobe to pass away in order for people to realize how much of a great person that he was. I mean, there's no question that Kobe cheated on his wife, but that didn't define him. And they ended up having a beautiful marriage after that, you know? I mean, the guy him and his wife popped out like another, I don't know, 4 kids after that, you know? Because along the way in life, he understood the value in family, and how important that is. Hopefully this is the last we see of him that's not about the football field. Fingers crossed, big stupid. Fingers freaking crossed. But you know that there's going to be some outlet that's going to bring it up. Preach, sister. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. I'm really, really, really trying. So Gray, I appreciate you coming into the chat and wanting to be involved, but I just really want to keep it based on the subject matters that we're talking about. I just don't want to deviate from that. More than likely we'll talk about OBJ on the next show, but I really just want to keep it on the topics. Watson is the quarterback to even throw the run. Watson is the quarterback to ever throw the run. I'm confused on that. Super unrelated, but W back on me is I had to pick up a prescription this morning, and I went to go get some coffee, and some Beyonce was on my phone, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play some Beyonce. During the stream today. But that was the main thing that I wanted to get out about this Deshaun thing, is that, you know, I wanted to get back to football. I don't, for those that are continuing to try and defame him and try and paint, and I agree, this is going to be with him for the rest of his career. You know, the history books aren't going to be able to be rewritten as far as what has happened up to this point. I completely agree with that. But I just, I'm not a fan of people in media outlets trying to make this situation define who he is as a person, right? But again, I really just want things to stay about football. You know, I guess we'll see him on the field. We're gonna see him on the field December 4th. We'll see if that game actually gets flexed, because again, like I said, the NFL is about business, man. They're about business, and they know. Go Pack, go. What's going on, Roz? The NFL is a business, and a lot of people are going to want to watch that game. They're going to want to see if the quarterback that got in trouble for what he got in trouble for, sat out for an entire season, his first game back, they're going to want to see if he's still capable of playing football at a very high level. You know, again, we did not really see much of Deshaun Watson during training camp. We saw him for a series, and they took him out, and that was it. I mean, it was almost to the point, like, why'd y'all even put him in there? For real. Why did y'all put him in there? Right? Like, it was already a media circus that he was going to be starting that game, and we just didn't see much. But, you know, come December 4th, we're going to be seeing a lot. We're definitely going to be seeing a lot. All right, I'm going to open it up to you guys now. If you would like to join Guest Star, I have Guest Star available. Let me know. Let me get a 1 in the chat. If you would like to join Guest Star, I will send you an invitation. And I'm just eager to get y'all's opinions about it. You know, it doesn't necessarily... It's just anything about Deshaun Watson. You know, like, if you hate the guy, if you hate his guts, whatever, I can't say that I'll agree with you. But I am curious to get your opinion about it. But yeah. They're doing that to Robert Kraft. They just mad he stood his ground and then went after him. Yeah, the NFL can be petty. The NFL can for sure be petty. Matter of fact, I feel like they were petty about the Deshaun situation. Old girl who was completely removed from the situation. What was she, like, a former, the chick that initially gave him like a 6-game suspension? They didn't like that. But the reason that she gave him a 6-game suspension and they still didn't like it anyway was the fact that there was just no proof. There was no solid proof that these women were held against their will, and he forced them to act in a sexual manner. You know, there just wasn't, right? There just wasn't. So, all right, it looks like we're done with the Deshaun Watson situation. Does anyone have anything else that they'd like to add or to say about the Deshaun situation? Okay, my issue is the inconsistency with punishment. Please be for real, Roger. Yeah, I would agree with that. My whole thing that really disturbed me about that situation was the fact that they realized that they realized that when Roger Goodell had the full reign to punish players the way that he wanted to, that there was a lot of inconsistency. So what did they decide to do? They decided to get outside consultants. They decided to have someone who was completely removed from all NFL situations and have them investigate and have them provide a recommendation in terms of punishment. What I don't like is the fact that even though they did that, they still said, we don't like it. We don't agree with it. So we're going to hire someone else who's ultimately going to give us the results that we're looking for. That is crap. That's what I didn't like about it. They didn't like what old girl brought to the table, right? They didn't like that old girl said 6-game suspension. So they brought in a guy, you know? And yeah, I'm kind of going there with it, but that does play a factor into it as well. They brought in a guy, and he turned around and said, oh, well, let me find out what the NFL is going to be okay with in terms of suspension length. Turns out they wanted the 11 game. Well, matter of fact, I think they ultimately wanted a full year suspension. If my memory serves me right, I think they wanted like a full year suspension, but I guess they're in between and their balance was, we're just going to make it 11. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, I didn't like that aspect of it either. So we know how the NFL is. We know that the NFL, when it comes to situations, more than not, they talk out of both sides of their mouth. You know, it's just the NFL. The NFL is the NFL, right? The NFL is the NFL. So again, he comes back December 4th. Going against his old team. We'll see what he looks like. He's, you know, we'll see how he holds up. You know, this is someone that legit has not taken a true NFL hit for almost 2 years. If we're just keeping it a buck, 11 is such a random number. It's a random number, but it's a big number. It's a lot more than 6. It's a lot more than 6. So I think that's why they were okay with it, because they said, well, at least we know he won't be able to play a good portion of the season. He'll at the very least play 25%. Not even 25. Not even 25 if we're really like looking at it from a percentage standpoint, more like 5%, if that. The NFL wanted it to where homeboy was barely going to play at all this season based on everything that happened. So yeah, we're gonna see, chat. We're gonna see. Again, welcome back to Deshaun Watson. Hopefully lessons have been learned throughout this entire situation. I don't say that in a way of, you know, you're guilty as charged. I'm just saying you gotta be careful about how you maneuver and how you do business, right? Like how you do business with people and what their motives are, and you know, just kind of go from there.